Everybody, this is Jeff Veale, the business guru, coming to you from, yes, downtown Malaysia at the moment, soon to be downtown China next week. But guys, I've got a wonderful guest here today. He's a very interesting gentleman, very interesting. His name is Robert. Now I've got to get my tongue around.
Tetero.
There you go. He says like he's been practicing, right? Robert Tetero. He's a founder of Manna Life Source. He's going to tell us all about that. The industries in general, guys, is helping people with coaching. And a lot of you people need it. Think about it, guys. Some of these star sportsmen you see are on multi-million dollars. Why have they got a coach? Because they want to be better. And we all want to be better. I've got two coaches, guys. I've always had coaches. And very quickly, I'll give you one that cost me $20,000 30 years ago. 30 years ago. That's a lot of money. $20,000. And it was this. It was a simple one. You don't know what you don't know. So no one knows it all, guys. So if you want to know, reach out to people like Robert, and then you will know. Brief description. I help entrepreneurs and business owners overcome stress and overwhelm in both business and personal life, despite their external success, whether they face unreliable or failing partnerships or relationships, emotional instability or stress. I guide them back to inner clarity, guys. That's where you want to be. That's where you want to be. And empowered action through conscious energy, breathing, energy-based practices, and mindset strategies to achieve soul-aligned, sustainable success. So, guys, there's help out there. Don't be one of these males who never goes and gets some help. Get some help. It's only a phone call. What's a phone call could change your life, guys. It's that simple. And ladies, I've helped thousands of people from all walks of life achieve self-empowerment and stress-free success. Personal motto is a good one. Risk is probably the only source of progress in getting anywhere. You've got to take a risk, guys. If you don't do anything, you'll never know. There's people out there, sadly, some of you watching, you've never left your own city, let alone your own state, let alone gone overseas. Guys, move. You weren't put here to stay in the same place. You'll be surprised what's out there when you start moving, and you'll meet some amazing people. Have some great times. Interesting facts about himself. He called himself, as do I love that one, a world citizen and a world traveller. Pretty nice. My great pleasure to welcome to the stage, Robert. How are you today, Robert?
Thank you very much, Jeff. I'm doing great. I'm really doing great.
Whereabouts are you at the moment? Tell
I'm in the Netherlands.
There you go.
And we just moved here a year ago. We were in Italy 6 years, and after that, 1 year on the island of Tenerife.
Wow, man, imagine. Italy would have been a bit of fun. How was the food in Italy? Pretty good?
Oh, it's the best. I love the Mediterranean food.
Yeah.
And I've lived in Italy many, many years, apart from the fact that we were there now 6 years. But when I was younger, I was living there for 8 years, and I've been going there for more than 40 years.
There you go, guys. You're making me hungry.
Yeah.
I just threw out a pizza box before this meeting, funny enough, in the big pizza box. Tell us about your journey and what inspired you to pursue your current career path all those years ago. What inspired you to reach out and help people?
Well, I was not really certain what I wanted to do myself in life. I had no clue. And I just studied international business because I'd had nothing else to do. And
Yes.
what do you do when you come out of college? Well, you're just going to find a job in that area. So I started working as a management consultant, multi-million-dollar projects for Berlusconi in the steel industry. But I was unhappy because the way I was looking at things was not at all from old school thinking. The way I saw them do business was just like almost impossible for me to understand, actually.
Yes.
And there was a CEO on one of my projects, and he called me into his office, and I had just come straight out of college, and he says to me, "Robert, what do you want in life?" And I completely choked up. I didn't know what to say, and he kept repeating this question: "What do you want in life? What do you want?" And the only thing that finally came out of my mouth was, "I want to be happy."
Funny you say that. You beat me to it. That's what I told someone.
And the next thing he said to me is, "Then what are you still doing here?"
That's not bad. He's smart. Yeah, he's smart. Yeah.
And
That's a,
I left.
that's a
That
mentor.
was it was amazing. Exactly. And it was a one-liner, and this man changed my whole life because I quit my job immediately the next day
Yeah.
with all the fear of not knowing what else to do. But
Yeah.
I just took a leap of faith and I started on a complete different path in my life.
Love it. Quick backstory, guys. I left school and home. My mother told me, if you don't like it here, get out. I said, give me 30 minutes. So I left home and school when I was 14, hit the streets like Fonzie. And true story, guys, I was a very good sports person. So I played a lot of sport, which never paid me anything, but I had a lot of pleasure. And I had 200 jobs. I kid you not. I had 200 jobs from 14 to 28 because I wanted to play my
Wow.
sport. And I tell the boss, listen, boss, every Tuesday and Thursday, I got to finish early because I got to go and play my sport. And he goes, no. I said, well, I'm not working here. So I changed
Right.
all these jobs. I went from the abattoirs to picking strawberries to working on bloody oil rigs to you name it, I did it. And one day,
That's
this is the good backstory to
great.
this. I was 28. You got told by someone. No one told me. I told myself. I was 28 and man's wages were $100 a week. I got a pen out and I went, okay, my rent's $15. My car payment's $18. My girl, you've got to have a girlfriend. She's the most expensive. She's $20. $15 for food, blah, blah, blah. And it worked out. It came to $90. I had $10 left. And I said to myself, wow, if I'm really, really good and don't make any mistakes for the whole year, I'll end up with $500 at the end of the year. And a little voice said to me, "That's only a good weekend out." So I said, "Bugger it! I'm not going to work for anyone else. I'm going to start working for me." So I went from working for idiots to working for a lunatic, and I made it, guys. I had 5 multi-million dollar businesses. I'll tell you, teach you 2 things about that too. Every one of them, I kid you not, took me 6 months to make a dime. I never made a penny. I went in and thought, oh, I'll open up the door tomorrow and they'll come running in. That did not happen, right? I had to learn the hard way how to make a buck. And then looking back on life later, when I get in my 60s, I look back on all those businesses and every one of them, I chased the dollar very hard. Every one of them, I stayed too long. Every one of them. I knew the
Yeah.
business, I loved the business, but I was only there for the money because it was good money. And I knew everything about it. So I should have moved on to my next adventure. And I didn't. I
Right.
more or less stayed before until I was sort of pushed or someone bought me out or whatever the reason. I stayed too long. And this is the only
Yeah.
business I've had. I've had for the last few years, putting all my skills together where I've got a passion, not a business. And I love this one. I work twice as hard here than any other business I ever did because it's not work, it's a passion. I enjoy doing what
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's been
Well,
the
it's
most,
amazing. It's
go ahead.
amazing you're saying that because I could never stay longer anywhere if I wasn't happy.
Yeah,
I
that's
could
right.
not. I just couldn't do it because it just.
Your body tells it, doesn't it? You feel it, don't you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you dread it.
It's,
You dread going
yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it's time to get out. I mean,
Yeah.
I get in Australia.
At some point, I had my father tell me nobody's going to even want you anymore because you're just going from job to job to job to job. That
Yep,
I could always get my foot in the door.
me too. Me
Always.
too. But I'm
Yeah.
proud to say, guys, being tall, that was a big help. I got every job I ever went for. Every job I went for, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because my
Same
mantra
here.
was this.
Same here.
I had a good trick though. My trick was this: boss, hire me. I'm telling you, I'm good at my job, and hire me. And you don't need to pay me. You pay me what you think I'm worth at the end of the week, because I know I
Yeah.
can do the job. And then I go down
Yeah.
to the floor and find someone like you and say, "Shit, mate, how do you do this?" I got no idea how to do it. I'll ask one of the employees how to do it, and I get it
Yeah.
done. So it's all fun. Tell us, what's been the most challenging aspect of your work and how have you overcome that over the years?
Well, it's interesting. I think the biggest challenge is what I'm facing now, actually, because I had the luxury of people just coming to me by word of mouth. I
Yes.
didn't have to do anything in regards to marketing, strategy. I really had that luxury. It isn't sustainable anymore. Things are changing rapidly.
Absolutely. There's no doubt.
Everybody's going online. I was hanging back, and I didn't pivot in the moment COVID hit.
Yep.
It took me a while to wake up because so many years ago when I came out of the business world, when that man said to me, what are you still doing here? I literally turned my back on the business world.
Yes.
So I wasn't very smart in doing that. Although over the past 35 years in running my business, I've had many business clients, but I never pursued them long term.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So so I'm starting from scratch, and you know what? I'm really loving it.
Absolutely. Because
That's the whole thing.
you've been there
But
before, you know the journey, you know what to do.
exactly,
But
exactly.
you know,
Like you said, if it's your passion, it doesn't feel like work.
no, that's right. And then you know what to do. They'll say it. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. No one's going to do it for you.
Right.
Tell us an important moment in your career that changed your direction. I guess you've told us that with when the gentleman told you, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, that's also true. But then I still didn't know what it was that I wanted to do.
Yeah,
So I had to really go on a sort of vision quest, which took me on a 6-year journey, to be honest. And it was a very deep soul search because some part of me didn't feel I belonged here on this planet.
yeah,
So that led me from one thing to the other, one job to the other, and not coincidentally, people inspiring me on the way, people that I would be meeting that would always be giving me these one-liners that helped me, again, move forward
some good ones out
until
there, isn't
I
there?
finally, until I finally one day realized, oh, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to bring spirituality in the workforce.
Yeah,
Spiritual fluency. Nothing woo-woo. It's a very practical thing.
I get it. Yeah,
Why are people misunderstanding each other at work? Why aren't they communicating at the levels why isn't there any teamwork? Because that's what I was experiencing when I was working
absolutely.
in the business. They're talking about teamwork. I never saw any evidence that there was any teamwork at all.
Yes. Well, teamwork makes the dream work, as they say, and it's so true. Um,
Yeah,
tell us, in your opinion, what are the key qualities or skills that have helped with your amazing success over the years?
that's a good one. You know what? I learned to listen.
Yeah, empathy. Empathy is a big one, right?
I learned to listen and stop my mind.
Yeah,
We're never listening. We're always listening to respond, and we're not
yes.
listening to understand.
Yeah, nice. I like
You
that.
know, that's the big difference. Just to tell myself, shut up and
Yeah,
just be quiet and listen to what a person has to say. Think
yeah.
about what they said, and then you might want to add anything that you'd like into the conversation, and that raises the quality of the meeting and your engagement.
Funny one, there's a book out there because I was pretty much in sales all my life, one for my own business. And there's a book out there I read years ago. It was a great book. It changed things dramatically for me. And the book was a very simple one. It was called Shut Up and Sell. In other words, sometimes you tell people the price, and then you just keep yapping, try to justify it. So when they ask you
Yeah,
the price, tell them the price, and allegedly, the next one to talk, owns it.
yeah,
Don't
yeah.
try and justify it. So
I was working in sales, and I walked in, cold sales. I walked into the building. I found out a way to get into the building in the first place because I
yeah,
would just go to the secretary and say, "Listen," I would just get names. I need the name of the marketing, or the sales or the acquisition
right,
manager.
yeah,
So if I had a name, then I could just walk up the next day and say, "Listen, I have an appointment with so and so." But anyway, I get myself in the door, and bold as I was, I walk up to the manager and I say, "Listen, I can save you up to 20% of all your acquisition." And the guy says to me, "No, you can't." "Oh, no, yes, I can." He says, "Come with me." And he sits me down at his desk, and he shows me all the prices of all the things that he needs for his company. He says, "You can't meet my prices because our company is so big. We get even better prices than you offer." And he showed me all the prices. I said, "Damn, yeah, you're right. Oh, okay. Well, that's it then. Well, thank you for your time." And I started walking out the door. He says, "Yes, but wait a minute, Robert. Will you come back, please?" And I turned around, went back. He says, "I'd like to order this, that, so this, and that." And he
amazing.
made a huge order. And I said, "Well, why are you ordering from me?" And he says, well, we all started somewhere sometime.
Yeah, nice. There's a guy. This is a similar story, or a little bit different. There's a guy out there called. He's passed away now, unfortunately. He's a quite famous called Chet Holmes, and Chet had a huge company, and he wrote a few books. And one of the ones about sales. And what he'd say is he'd put an ad in the paper for a salesperson. Must be good. Must be dynamic. Blah 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 blah. Then the people would start ringing up. And he would say deliberately, he would say, nice, Jeff. Jeff, I'm not hearing sales. And then the Jeff at the other end would say, oh, sorry, Mr. Holmes, you would know. My apologies for wasting your time. Sorry. And they'd go away, right? And then you said to him, he came across you, he said, I'm not hearing sales. And then you said, well, Mr. Holmes, you must be deaf. And then he calls you in.
Yeah.
Funny stuff, isn't it?
Perfect.
It's all about, when you're younger, it's all about bravado. You just got to sort of make it till you make it, guys, and you will make it. It's going to keep going.
Exactly.
Right. Speaking of all that, how do you stay motivated and continue, as you've been doing over the years, how do you stay motivated yourself and continue to innovate in your field? What's your secret to staying motivated?
Oh, another good question. I love the questions. How do I stay motivated? I always say to my wife, everything that I put into the world comes forth out of our connection together.
Yeah.
The family that I have and the way we're nourishing, each other is just so amazing. And I don't idealize my relationship by all means, but that is really the source of everything that I do in life. And I'm so happy, and I'm so happy with my children. So that just, that's a very important thing. It keeps you going, keeps you motivated. I'm a very positive person.
Yeah, me too. I say your attitude, controls your altitude, because I tell people, and they laugh at me, say, I talk about death sometimes. Right? I was at the doctor's the other day, and I said, I hope this will last me until I die. And they go, I don't say that. I said, listen, my friend, I'll be 95 on my deathbed with cancer, and I'll be laughing, because the alternative is to be crying. Which would you rather do?
Yeah, exactly.
I'd rather go out laughing than go out crying.
Exactly. Exactly that.
And if you have a good attitude, you'll probably last a darn sight longer anyway.
And we do have a choice. That's just the whole thing. We have a choice how to deal with things when they come. Take on the challenges and know that it's ultimately it's just the obstacles that we are confronted with are only a means to help us find the insight behind the challenge. It's always an aha. We're always looking for the aha moments that propel us forward.
There were many things I didn't know in business, especially with the new businesses, different ones I started. And I used to always tell my team, was this, they'd bring me a problem and they go, what's a problem? I go, no. I say, my friend, every problem has 10 solutions. They say, 10? I say, yeah. I said, write down the 10 and then work out which one's the best. If that doesn't work, move to number 2, like plan B, plan C. So there is a solution. You just got to look for it.
Right.
Don't just do nothing.
I work in a slightly different way, because I always say for every problem that there is already an inherent solution.
Yes.
It has to be, because we're living in a world of duality.
Yeah, and change.
So instead of focusing on the problem, immediately put in the solution that you want to bring into existence.
Yeah, a lot of
no need to look. What is it that you want? And stand by it.
Yeah. And the thing is, guys, if you want to be happy, make a change, because no one else is going to make you happy. You got to make yourself happy.
Exactly. It's all about embracing change.
Yeah. Funny is, you mentioned about you just want to be happy. Many moons ago, like 30 odd years ago, I had this lovely girlfriend, and we were starting to argue and fight all the time. And I wanted to save the relationship, and she sort of half wanted to save it. So we decided to go off to a marriage counsellor. I said, you organise it and I'll turn up. Right. So she organised it all, and it turned out to be a woman. As I walk in the door, I think, oh no, what have I got myself into here? I've got 2 women to worry about. So anyway, her name was Marilyn. So the woman said to her, Marilyn, tell us about Jeff and some of the problems. And away she went. And she went, Jeff did this, and Jeff said this, and Jeff, for about an hour. right? And I was sitting there smiling and listening to all this stuff, right? And then she said, okay, Jeff, it's your turn. What do you want? And I, honest to God, I had tears rolling down my face when I said, I just want to be happy. End of story. That's all I said. I just want to, and that was coming from the heart. I just wanted to be happy. I didn't want any bullshit or arguing or fighting or debating who's right, who's wrong. Just wanted to be happy. So you nailed it earlier.
Beautiful, beautiful.
It's a pretty cool thing, isn't it? Just be happy.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll know when you're happy. You'll start whistling. You'll be there. Tell us about a recent project or achievement in your past where you've made a difference for someone. Tell us about that.
Wow. To be honest, there was some point years ago where this inner chatter in my mind was saying, what have you really achieved, Robert? What have you really achieved?
I love that one. We talked that earlier about self-talk, right?
Yeah. And I immediately had my voice say, if I have only been able to help one person find their way in life, then my mission is complete.
That's right.
And that's the truth. And I've helped thousands of people really unravel the subconscious conditioning, negative conditioning that's sabotaging their lives. Yeah. That's what it's all about, really, is raising the quality of your life. That's what I'm all about.
And caring. Caring, right?
Exactly. So, and that remains first and foremost. I'm here to really support people and guiding them. I don't really consider myself coach. I prefer to say being sort of a guide. There's nothing that I teach that they don't already know. Yeah, like a mentor. It's nothing that I teach that they don't already know. It's always, oh, yes, of course. It finally resonates and they open up to a higher truth.
Yeah, I call it common sense stuff.
Common sense. It is.
And another one I've learned in the latter years is this: if you've got bad habits, try it. You're only human. You've got some bad habits. Try and get rid of the bad habits, or introduce more good habits and stack them. So you've got this habit of doing something else, and a 15-minute walk every day is another habit. Some journaling, that's another habit. And they'll become habits, and they become great things that help you.
Exactly.
You've got to stack them. You get these habits and stack them up.
Yeah.
And then you don't need any help. Exactly. You've got to help yourself. It's reality. Now it's for you.
And drop all your negative habits.
That's it, bit by bit. Bit by bit. Like, for example, I've helped friends over the years, a packet a day. I say, okay, what we'll do, how about we do 15 a day? How about we do 10 a day? How about we throw them away? I've had people read me out, honest to God, and say, Jeff, I think you saved my life. And that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Exactly.
The good friends who they've decided to give up smoking because I've been harassing them for so bloody long. They wake up, but each their own, why don't you enjoy it?
So, Jeff, but when it comes to a personal achievement, that was truly finishing writing my book that I'm in the process of publishing.
Yeah, that's nice.
Because it's been a project that's been on my mind for more than 20 years. And every time I would start, and then the inner chatter would turn on again, and I'd hear myself saying, what are you writing about that hasn't already been written about? Just drop it. There's nothing new, under the sun. And I realized after all these years, my ideas needed to crystallize into what it was, what it meant to me.
Well, you're ready now. You weren't ready before.
Yeah,
There's a difference.
Exactly.
You got to the stage where you're ready. Funny enough, I've always wanted to write a book, but being like a Fonzie, when I left school at 14, my book, honest to God, would be in the science fiction section because I've done stuff that other people haven't done. So, of course, because they haven't done it, they think that we haven't done it. You know what I mean? They'd like to do it.
Yeah.
They haven't done it. And they think, he couldn't have done that. So I don't bother. I know what I've done. And I tell people, make memories, my friends. Make memories, not money.
Yeah.
Memories, you can take memories with you. You can't take money with you. There we go.
Well said.
Tell me, what advice would you give a 20-year-old version of you? He or she just left school, and they say, oh, Robert, you're a family friend. What would you do with your life? What would you tell them?
Stop wasting time.
Not bad.
That's the first thing that comes to my mind. I was just mentioning to another group of people people the other day, with all the knowledge you have now, would you have done anything different in the past?
Yeah.
And most people will say, well, no, of course you don't have regrets and it brought you where you are today. But obviously, with what I know now, I would absolutely do things different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Certain things, yeah.
Yeah, certain things, absolutely. But, be resilient, stay at it, don't give up,
Yeah.
and know your self-worth, know your self-worth, know that you are worthy of it. And we were
Absolutely.
meant to be successful.
Yeah, and don't forget, guys, you've got a cheer squad out there. Sometimes it might not be your family or your best friends. They might not be the ones cheering for you. They might be jealous, whatever. But there's
Yeah,
always a cheer squad out there for you. They might be on social media. But keep
yeah.
going, guys. Just keep going. You'll find,
Just keep going.
you'll
Exactly.
find your tribe.
Regardless,
Yeah,
regardless of the obstacles and regardless of the people that want to try and hold you
yeah,
back as
that's
well.
right. There are many of them. And if you find your tribe, guys, you'll find your tribe. Then you'll thrive, and you will find it.
Yeah, yeah.
Just be open-minded and be looking. Looking ahead, you're only at base camp at the moment. You're climbing that mountain still, like all of us. What are your goals and aspirations for the future, Robert?
You're making me think.
I feel like
You're
your boss
making
all
me
those.
think a lot today.
I feel like your boss all those years ago.
um, I can really truly say that I'm happy as I am.
Yeah, that's it.
Building a legacy, building wealth. I
Yeah,
mean, that's something where I haven't, really been focused. I still hear myself saying, I'm not doing what I'm doing because I wanted to become rich,
yeah, that's
you
right.
know. But definitely, uh, I think leaving my mark,
Yeah,
where I felt
leaving the
that
world a better place, right?
that I have been able to contribute something to the world,
Yeah, nice.
you
Yeah,
know.
leave a legacy. That's it.
Yeah,
I joke with
to
people
build
and
that
say,
legacy.
in America, in particular, you got guys with 3 cars and 5 TVs, and they're crying about one of their TVs is broken.
Yeah.
And yet, and there you go to Tibet. There's a monk up in the mountains with his orange robe and a bowl of rice. Which one's happy?
Right,
Which one's figured it out? You sometimes
exactly.
wonder, do you? A lot of people
Yeah,
have not figured it out. You know,
yeah.
the truth.
I could walk out of this store today without anything at all
Yeah,
and not lose anything.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's about family, faith, and freedom, guys. Freedom.
exactly.
That's what you're doing it for. You're doing it for the freedom. And
Perfect.
I got a
Yeah.
surprise yesterday. One of my guests said that in Canada now, they're charging people a substantial amount of money to leave. I mean, it's supposed to be a free country in this world. They're charging you
Yeah.
money to leave Canada. Can you believe that? There's an exit. There's an exit fee. If you say I want to leave,
Amazing.
do what you've done, go out the other side of the world. I know you've got to pay an exit. You can't go without paying the fee. You're kidding me? How crazy is the world becoming?
Yeah, yeah.
Unbelievable. And it's not getting any better, guys. I warn you, it's not getting any better. So, run your own race. Do be ethical, but do things your way. Right. Robert, you've been an awesome guest. How can our listeners reach out and find out more about you and your wonderful services? What's the best way?
Um, Through my website, mannalifesource.com.
Yeah.
You can reach me via email, robert@mannalifesource.com. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm all over the airways.
Yeah.
Easy to find.
And guys, what's going to happen? That's the reason for 15 Minutes of Fame. We'll be putting this out there. We'll be putting it on Quora, Reddit, LinkedIn, Facebook, our Facebook group, and of course our YouTube channel. And so all the links will be there. So reach out to him. He's a cool guy. Reach out to Robert. Have a chat. You may be able to help each other. Who knows? But reach out, have a chat. The worst you can do is spend 15 minutes together, and he might know something that you need to know. So once again, you've been an awesome guest, Robert. Before we wrap it up, you can't go without telling us a fun fact about yourself that most people don't know.
Oh, interesting. A fun fact that people don't know. Uh, That's a difficult one. That's a difficult one.
Yo-yo champion, you're yo-yo champion back in Canberra.
I'm a gopher. I'll do anything. I'll do anything. I'm open to do anything. You challenge me, and I'm all for it.
Here's a fun fact, guys. You didn't know it. Robert's an Australian. But he escaped.
Yeah.
He escaped just like I've escaped, guys. I said 14 years ago, I won't be back. Well, I got a hole in my bum. It's going to be a long time, guys. I'll never go back. I've done my dash with Australia. It was a pretty cool place, but I want to see the rest of the world. I want to have a good time. There's so much more to see out there, guys. So once again, Robert, thanks for being on the show. And guys, if you want your 15 minutes of fame, just like Robert, reach out. Let's have a chat. Let's expose you. We'll put you across all the channels. We'll make this into a little movie for you. It's evergreen, and it's all about you, and you can put it across all your social media channels and get yourself in front of hundreds of potential clients. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. All right, guys. Thanks for being on the show, Robert. It's been awesome, my friend.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.